Howdy, howdy. Alana and I are still on our winter hiatus, and we decided to check out yet another new place. This is the Myeerah Nature Preserve, Camp Myeerah, Nature something or other. Anyhow, totally new place to us. I'm really kind of excited here. One, I actually remembered my tripod this time. If you watched the last vlog, you'll know why that's important. And then two, I'm not only joined by Alana and Kegan, but I'm not sure what the weather's going to do. Normally we start very early in the morning, and this time it's actually later in the day. It's 2:30, but this time of year we've only got a couple more hours of light left in the day. And weather-wise, the last 5 or 6 miles here, the temperature changed 10 degrees, went down cooler, and just off of the horizon we saw quite a bit of fog rolling in, so this could be really cool or a total waste. Who knows? Let's see.
I'll let you go, just need some time. At your own pace, you need to find your way.
So I think this place was either used to was or still is a Girl Scout camp, and this cabin here behind us is actually the first kind of cool thing that we came up to. And I don't know if it's still rentable or not, but I can see where it's got old bones, but it's been kept up and kind of remodeled. There's some bunk beds and things inside. And then just over here, it's still a little early, but there's a small little pond. Now I'm going to try to make my way around to a larger pond before sunset and try to see if it will light up, because there's still some ice on the water. Earlier in the week, what was it? It was frigid. It was down in the teens. It was really quite cold, and then now it's in the 50s. Well, it was in the 50s. Here it's in the 40s. But yeah, I'm gonna do a spin so you can kind of see this little pond I'm talking about back here behind me. And the highlights got blown out, but hopefully you'll get to see it and you're not too nauseated from the spin. So, on we hike.
It's been 72 weeks in this town. I still believe I'll see.
This is the first spot I stopped at for a photo. As you can see, this sort of wetland little pond is still frozen over, and some of these cattails have fallen over and they're trapped in the ice. And that fog I mentioned in the very beginning has also rolled in here and sort of filled this up into this kind of murky, very still scene. So I've got my wide angle 16 to 35 on here, and I actually took 2 shots. Even though I'm at f11, I was worried, I can't quite see in the back here the way the light's at. I was worried about having a good depth of field. So at f11, I kind of focused on the tree out there in the distance, and then some of these foreground elements up here. And then I'm just going to do a real quick manual blend in Photoshop. I'll just literally do a layer mask and kind of paint the foreground in if needed, if it's not sharp enough with the 2. But I'm really kind of liking this. I hope it pans out. All right, so we're back on the move. I ended up taking a second composition at that little wetland pond in vertical rather than landscape. So I took another portrait one. I think it may work out a little bit better because I really liked the foreground element, and that allowed me to pull more into it. So regardless, you've seen the one. Now I'll share the portrait. Tell me which one you like.
Almost palpable, solemn oaths with our blood that we sign. But
All right, the family's waiting for me again in the cold weather, but I'm gonna spin around here. I just stopped. I am in love with the fog that is now rolled into the woods here as we hike down. And if you can see just over my shoulder there's a little critter path. Looking at tracks, there might be a few deer, but I think it's mostly rabbit that have kind of beat down that snow. And then directly in front of my camera, there's one lone tree. It's just a little sapling, but it's clinging to still some orange leaves. I'm kind of hoping I can boost up that orange just a little bit in post and make it the subject. I'm not 100% sure if it'll work or not because it's so close to a larger tree just off to the right in the frame. So I'm not sure if it'll work or not, but here it comes anyway. All right, we've been walking around the larger pond slash lake that I was really excited about. But honestly, I didn't find much around it. The banks are all cleaned up and I just didn't see much there. One thing really cool is with it all being iced over the way it is, and the green banks where it's thawed out a little bit, it sort of feels like a really rough water day where you would take like a long exposure, but it's just sort of stuck in time with the ice. It's really quite white from all of the temperature changes back and forth and air in it. So anyway, I did take one picture. Don't know if I'm in love with it or not. I'll share it anyhow. It's a lone tree. That's for you, Chris Perea. I know you are in love with them as well. And the sun was kind of poking through the fog right at the very tip of it. So, well, I spent quite a bit of time to make that happen. But anyway, that's I think this is going to be close. We'll see here in a bit, but I think the bulk of the hike is done now. So we'll see. Okay, all right. I called that entirely too soon. We no more crossed the road where we thought we were about done, and we hit this boardwalk, marshy area just on the opposite side of the road. And literally right here, like right there, there was an owl. And I have been so interested in trying to get a photo of an owl. I had my 16 to 35 millimeter lens on, so I dropped my bag real quiet. I switched out. I have my 70 to 200 with me, along with my teleconverter, which will reach me out to 400 millimeters. I get it all switched, change all my camera modes. I'm ready to go. I go to stand up and flies away. So this is a neat little area if you're kind of seeing it happen behind me. So I kind of took a picture of it. The dockway's kind of got a nice little leading line, and the fog has rolled back in thicker again, as you can see behind me. So really cool area. I really wish I'd caught the owl. I didn't, and I'm not going to wait any longer because Alana and Kegan, when they're waiting on me to take photos, I think they're getting a little cold. So we're going to pick up the pace, get some heat going, head on back to the truck. All right, it is definitely official now. It's a wrap. I can actually see the truck through the woods. We're getting ready to pop out. I don't know if sunrise is going to happen or not. This fog keeps coming in and out, but or yeah, for sunset. I'm normally a sunrise person. Like I said, this is weird for me. So light's about to get too bright for me to have the camera to it. So wrapping up, please give me a subscribe, hit the bell, get notifications, do all those things. Pretty please. It's not a big deal. It's a little clicky, and then you're done. Thanks for following.